Here we are with an almost completed sock that has the heel yet to be grafted together. And grafting means to take two sets of live stitches that face each other and sew them in order to create a seamless fabric. So I've cut my yarn. It's about 1.5 feet long. Typically, you need about 3 lengths of the distance that you'll be grafting. And let's see. I've got it this much just because I like to feel the work. Here we have 2 setup rows first, and I'm going to work the first stitch in the front needle and then the first stitch in the back needle, but we're going to keep these ones on. So the first one I'm going to purl, and the second one I'm going to knit it knitwise. And those are our 2 setup rows. Those are our 2 setup stitches. So our sequence is in 4 stitches. We're going to work the first 2 stitches on the front needle and then the second 2 stitches on the back needle. So knit off, purl, purl off, knit. I'm sewing these knitwise off, purlwise, purlwise off, knitwise. Just going to pull that yarn a little taut. Again, sew it knitwise, that's frank. Sew it purlwise. Sew it purlwise off, sew it knitwise. Each stitch will get 2 passes of the needle. Is that Frank? That's not Frank, that's Bean. Hello, Bean. Yeah, Frank would be right in here. That was him. I'm lucky I was able to get these socks finished before my cats totally destroyed my needles. They like to chew on the wires. Oh, looks like this yarn didn't get quite put on. There we go. And then knitwise. What did I do there? I dropped that one by accident. Knit off, purl, purl off, knit. And then the last 2 stitches will be knit off, purl off. I'm going to give that a nice tug. Here we are. In the 2 socks toe up lesson that I've run, I have you do the provisional seam, and then you pick up the stitches to knit the heel, but we have to now open up those stitches. They're deep in here. And sadly, I made the yarn almost the same color as the contrasting yarn in here. This is going to be a doozy. So I'm just going to pick up this yarn, take this yarn out. And I also used a very toothy yarn, which wasn't very smart. I just had whatever I had around me. So I'm just going to, oh, I thought I could break it. no, it's quite strong. So I'm opening up. It's not very obvious for you, and it's not very easy for me. Even if I had used an embroidery floss for this part, that would have been nice, but alas, it's like not very, it's one ply, very loosely spun. You can see how fluffy it is. Look at that, just comes apart. But because it's spun tautly, it's a fairly good yarn. It's very soft, but only what I have. That noise there, that is my cat scratching at a cardboard box. She's hoping to get at the plastic bags inside. I bought these extra large Ziploc bags to store all my yarn because apparently when you have cats, you shouldn't have your yarn about willy-nilly or they like to play with it. Yeah, that was my bad. All right. No, I still have ways to go. See how it's revealing my heel? Pull those stitches. Voila! Now I've got a heel, afterthought heel. I tuck in this extra yarn. There we go. So we have a few ends to deal with. I have this end, two ends in the heel, perhaps an end in the toe. Let's go see what's going on in here. Here's the toe yarn. I do not like to have knots anywhere on the foot, on the sock. But what I will do is I'll just loop the yarn under one of the purl floats. To the very end of the toe. Pull it a little tight, and then I'll pull it so that the fabric blends in with the gauge of the fabric. And I think that's about it. Got my scissors here, and I will trim it really close. What do you think, Bean? Yeah? Yeah, you're in my light. In my light right now, my love. Here we have the end of the heel and the beginning of the heel yarn. Let's see if there are any holes at that junction. No, looks pretty good. Hi, I love you too. Yeah, we have so there is a little space in there that was unavoidable. So I'm going to bring my yarn underneath here like this, underneath this stitch. I'm going to follow this stitch around here like that. I'm going to bring this up and around into that stitch, hopefully closing up that little hole. And again, I'm just going to wind the yarn underneath those little purl floats until my needle won't let me anymore, because I don't have a lot of yarn left. But I can cheat a little bit. I can go like this and like this. Oh, and I had to use the thickest needle available. How did that work out? Again, I'll just pull it tight and then bounce it out. I think that's good. Oh look, I dropped a stitch there. Oh well. It's always good to have an error in your piece so you don't offend the gods. I say that all the time. I believe that. And to err is human. We must embrace our errors. So here we have, this is at the end of the heel, and I do not want to create a bump. There is a lot of thickness there. So I'm going to follow this line down here. These were my decreases. So I will bring the yarn down like this. I'm going to follow this stitch. There's a stitch here that goes like this. I'm going to follow this one. I'm going to come up and up here. So that's nice and smooth. And now I'm going to basically like a whip stitch down these skip and then when I get to the bottom, I will pull tight and bounce back to make sure that the fabric is good. And I'm going to wind it around these purl floats for a bit, maybe about 5 or 6. Pull tight, pull loose. Okay, there we have, the heel is complete, the toe is complete, and now I have, oh, I've already finished that end, so we have a finished sock. I can put it with the other sock. The only thing about 2 socks toe up is that you have to do the grafting in the heel alone, one at a time. But that's okay. Look how cute those are. I hope my person likes them. Thank you.